Hi guys, it's Rebecca Harvey from LetMeOrganiseYou.com. I just wanted to go through with you a few bits and pieces to do with Google Analytics. I send all my clients a report each month, usually around the 1st or 2nd of every month, of a dashboard that's related to their Google Analytics, which is the stats that collect from the cookies behind the website of everybody that's been on it. There's loads and loads of really good information inside Google Analytics, but I tend to take just the best bits and the bits that they kind of need to know as well. But I've had a few people this month ask me basically about the report and how to sell if their website's performing well and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go through the screen with you. I've got mine actually on the computer screen rather than on a printout or a PDF, which is what I send, just so you've got a bit more information about the report. So as you can see, I've got my report in front of me here. I've gone back the last 30 days, so I've normally send these to clients from the 1st to the last day of the month, whether that be the 30th or the 31st. As you go down, you'll see you've got, so each of these little boxes are actually called reports, and you've got sort of various things that just tell you a little bit more about what's been happening on the website in the last month. So if we're going to break these down into the separate reports, I'll explain each one in turn. So first of all, you've got sessions by city. So this is telling you on a visual map of hopefully the UK whereabouts you're popular. So obviously the darker blue is the more popular pieces of where you're getting more website traffic from. So as you can see, I'm a Midlands-based business and a lot of my traffic is coming from this end of the country, which I'm happy with. This for me is an important one. I tend to respond to this better as a number. So I've had 298 users on my website in a month. Now it won't seem like a lot. To be honest, a service-based business on average I'm finding is about 250 is about an average, depending on how much marketing you're doing, depending on how much social media you're putting out. This can be more or less. If it's around the 250 mark as a service-based business that's not a national brand, this means you're actually doing quite well. In turn, we then expect a website to convert at about 2%. So if you consider I'm getting 298, I'd expect 2% of 298, maths isn't that great, to be something like 2 or 3 contact forms or phone calls or mentions about the website filled in each month. Obviously, the less traffic you get, the less your conversion will be in the number of forms you get filled in. And obviously, the more forms you want filled in per month, the more traffic you need to get to your website. So obviously, you double that, you double the amount of forms. So obviously, all this hard work that we do with our websites, we can only expect a 2% conversion. Advertising and stuff brings in ever so slightly different figures, and I won't go into that now. So that's actually quite an important part, and I appreciate I've just gone over that quite quickly, but it will let you know basically whether or not your website is performing. Basically, the bigger this number, the better. That's all I can say. And if it's smaller, do some more marketing. We've got a few bits here as well that just lets us know about new visitors to the website and returning visitors. I've got sessions over the month as well. Actually, on this one, you can expect spikes if you've been doing a lot of social media or marketing. So depending on sort of where you were in the month and stuff like that. So obviously these dates run along the bottom. Try and track that back to what you were doing that month. And this is quite an important one on here. Not all reports have got this on, but this is basically the most popular pages on your website for that given month. As you know, I always say about the contact page being important. I've also got a few of my blog posts keep coming up as well. These couple of evergreen content that I've got going. And also this is a new blog post that I've put out this month, how to create a social media calendar for 2019. So I'm really happy that this has had 24 page views and 12 unique page views. Yay. I've also got how my marketing's working. So you can see from my varying social media efforts I mean, I tend to use Instagram and Twitter as a leader. So, but then I've got slightly more Facebook traffic, so I don't know how that actually happens. But again, if you're putting the information out on these networks, you should expect something back from them. I've not done any e-commerce on the website, but then I've not been promoting that this month. We've obviously got here average sessions, durations, pages through there. So obviously you can take the different coloured lines, track it through the month. And then we've got, you know, the user number that I had at the very, very top corner. Well, I've got this basically as a cloned widget just at the bottom. This is actually the original one that you start off with, and I always pop it into a number. But this again tells you how you've been performing, and obviously sessions and users are slightly different. This breaks down into what cities you're most popular in. I appreciate some of these are towns. So again, we can see some of the more localised Midlands-based cities I'm quite popular in, which is great. And lastly, looking at bounce rate. Now, for your website, ideally your bounce rate wants to be below 50%. So I must admit, I'm not doing too well on this. The bounce rate needs to be below 50. A bounce rate is basically saying someone's coming onto your website and pinging off really, really quickly, and they're not finding what they need. So if you've got an astronomically high bounce rate, you might want to look at the website design, the website development, see what's happening with it, whether or not anything can be improved on the website. Obviously, people are coming to my website a little bit and probably not getting what I do straight away. That's something I can be working on with that. You will expect the more traffic you get to a website, the bounce rate does go slightly higher. And also, if you're not dealing with organic traffic, if you've been doing a lot of advertising, you can also expect your bounce rate to be a lot higher. But again, there's a load of stuff sort of made up with that, and I won't go into it now. But anyway, that's some of the theory behind the report. So I hope that means a little bit more to you than it did before. Just look at this number. This, if the bigger the better. And obviously, if it's smaller than what you think you would want, conversion-wise, do some more marketing. Anyway, if you've got any questions, as usual, just let me know. I'll pop this up on my blog on my website, and I've got my contact on there. And yeah, you can let me know. Otherwise, see you later. Bye-bye.